everyone, my name is Sharon Platt. I am one of the science tutors at the Student Success Commons, and this video is going to be about the muscles of the upper leg other than the quadriceps and the hamstrings. We'll do those in a separate video. And I'm doing this video a little differently because I'm hoping to demonstrate some of these actions and trying to figure out how to make it show on the screen for you with the limited technology I have here. So the first one we want to look at, this is the anterior, this is the quadriceps, and then this is the posterior. This is the Gluteus Maximus. So it's basically your backside, and this one we don't need to know origins and insertions, we just need to know the action. So it extends the hip and laterally rotates the hip. All right, so let's take a look at this muscle on this guy. And it's going to be this muscle right here. All right, so this one, hopefully I can do this somewhat gracefully. So the gluteus maximus is back here, and it extends the hip that way. It also laterally rotates the hip. You can see my knee here. All right, laterally rotates and extends. Then we have the gluteus medius, which is underneath the gluteus maximus. If I can get this off, it is right here. That is your gluteus medius, and that abducts and medially rotates the hip. This is more on the side. This was on the posterior side. This is more on the lateral side of the leg. So remember, the position of a muscle tells you what it does, because muscles always pull and never push, right? So this one, and we really can't see it on the other model, so I won't get that model out. This one abducts, because it's on the side here, it's going to abduct the hip, and it is going to medially rotate. It's on the side, so it's going to pull this way. Whereas the gluteus maximus laterally rotated, this is going to medially rotate. The other way, my knee's way over here now. All right. Then we have, I'm going to get my exercise in this video, aren't I? All right, then we have the Tensor fasciae latae. Where is it? There it is. Right there. Here's our quadriceps. There's our tensor fasciae latae, and it's got this huge long fascia here called the IT band. Goes all the way down there. Tensor fasciae latae. This one we do need to know origins and insertions. So the origin is the iliac crest, which I have a hard time seeing here, so let's take a look at this guy. And I wish I could move his arm out of the way. So this is your tensor fasciae latae here, and it comes down this IT band there. All right. So it starts on the iliac crest up here on the hip bone. That's its origin. And its insertion by this very long tendon, because the muscle stops in here somewhere, but this tendon goes down to the lateral fascia of the tibia, down here past the knee. Tibia is in the lower leg. So it has this very long tendon there. So origin, insertion, insertion is going to pull toward origin. So this is going to abduct the hip. It's going to go out that way. And it is also going to flex the hip because it's pulling the knee up. All right. Let's see if we can set this aside and show you what this one does. All right. So this tensor fasciae latae is kind of right here. So it is going to abduct the hip. And it's also, because the tendon's way down here, it is going to help flex the hip. It's one of the synergists. It's not the main mover, but it is a synergist for flexing the hip. And then we have the adductor muscles. Now we only learn one specific name here. These are on the inside of the leg. These are on the medial side. See, here's your big toe down here. Okay, these are on the medial side of the leg. These are all adductors here. And they, of course, adduct the leg. They bring it back toward midline. All right? And we don't need to know origins and insertions on those, but we do need to know that, no we don't, on the gracilis. This here is the gracilis, the one that is the most medial of the adductors, and the one that goes straight up and down on the medial side of the leg. All right, that is the gracilis, and because it goes down here, it flexes the knee and adducts the hip. So it brings the hip back to the medial and it helps to flex the knee. It's another synergist to flex that knee, pulling up this way. All right. So those actions are, if you have your leg out here, these muscles in here, they're going to adduct the hip and they're going to flex the knee, which I can't do without also flexing my hip, sorry. It's a little tricky. All right, then I'm going to go back here. Nope, I am not. Okay, then we're going to talk about the Sartorius. Now this one is a ton of fun. Oh, did I show you those on here? They're going to be hard to see because they're inside here. I don't think you're going to be able to see on there. They're on the inside of the leg, and it's hard to, I can't move his legs. All right, so the Sartorius is this long, skinny, curved one here. It starts over here on the, kind of on the anterior side of the leg. Here's your quadriceps. It's way up here by the quadriceps. And then it goes way around and ends on the medial side of the knee, down in here. And we do need to know origins and insertions here. So origin is on the, there's your hip bone, sorry, there's your hip bone there. Origin is on the anterior superior iliac spine. Those of you who did bones with me, you know exactly where that is. So it originates there, and then it goes all the way down to the medial knee. And the insertion point is the medial surface of the proximal tibia. So basically, right there. Medial surface in here, proximal tibia, higher on the tibia. All right? So that's where that one goes. And because of its location, and because it curves like this and goes down to there, this one actually does 3 actions all on its own. It's actually a synergist for a lot of actions, but it actually does 3 different actions. Let's see if I can do this. So first of all, it flexes the hip right here. Flex the hip, extend the hip, right? Flexes the hip. It also flexes the knee, and it rotates the hip laterally. So if you do this with both legs at once, and I cannot do this because I'm standing on a little step stool, you wind up sitting crisscross applesauce if you do it with both legs at once. All 3 of those actions, flex the hip, flex the knee, laterally rotate, gives you crisscross applesauce. All right? Now the trick with the leg, with the arm, it's kind of easy. Let's see if I can slide over here. Your wrist flexes this way, right? Flexes this way, and your elbow also flexes this way. They go the same direction, right? So the flexing and stuff is kind of easy to remember. With the leg, as you've already seen, the hip flexes this way, the knee flexes the opposite direction. And then the ankle flexes both directions. Dorsal flex and plantar flex. So it's a little more tricky to remember what does what. And we'll get into that more with the quadriceps and the hamstrings. So I got my exercise. I am out of breath. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.